Hello, everyone. Today, I want to ask you a simple question. Have you ever stopped because you thought you were not good enough? Maybe you wanted to speak English, but you were afraid of making mistakes. Maybe you wanted to try something new, but you thought, what if I fail? What if people laugh at me? What if I am too late? Many people have these thoughts. You are not alone. Sometimes we believe we must be ready before we begin. We think we need more knowledge, more confidence, more experience. Then we will start. But that day often never comes. We keep waiting. We keep preparing. We keep thinking. Yet we never take the first step. Perfection can become a quiet prison. It looks safe, but it keeps the door closed. Imagine a child who loves drawing. One day, the child opens a new box of crayons. Every crayon is perfect. Every color is bright. Every tip is sharp. The child smiles. Then something strange happens. The child does not want to use them. What if I break one? What if I make an ugly picture? What if I waste the colors? So the crayons stay inside the box. Day after day, week after week, they remain perfect. But they never create a single picture. Now imagine another child. This child is different. The child opens the box. The first picture is not beautiful. Some lines are too long. Some colors go outside the lines. One crayon breaks. The child laughs, then keeps drawing. Another picture, then another. The crayons become shorter. The paper becomes colorful. The room becomes full of drawings. Which box of crayons had the better life? The perfect one that stayed inside the box, or the broken one that filled the room with color? Sometimes we are like those crayons. We try so hard to protect ourselves. We do not want mistakes. We do not want failure. We do not want embarrassment. But while we protect ourselves, we also stop ourselves. Think about learning English. Many people stay silent because they want perfect English. They wait until they know every grammar rule. They wait until they know every word. They wait until they feel confident. But language does not grow that way. Children do not wait until they can speak perfectly. They speak. They make mistakes. They laugh. They try again. Little by little, they improve. Adults often do the opposite. They wait. Then they wait a little longer. Sometimes the biggest mistake is never making a mistake. Imagine learning to ride a bicycle. Nobody rides perfectly on the first day. You move forward. You lose your balance. You try again. Little by little, your body learns. Your confidence grows after the action, not before it. Life often works that way. Confidence is not something you find. It is something you build. One small action at a time. One conversation. One lesson. One page. One attempt. That is how confidence grows. Not because everything goes well, but because you discover that mistakes do not stop you. Many people think successful people never fail. That is not true. Successful people simply keep moving after they fail. Think about a tree after a storm. Some branches are broken. Some leaves are gone. The tree is no longer perfect. But when spring comes, new leaves appear. New branches grow. The tree is still alive. Life does not ask us to stay perfect. Life asks us to keep growing. Maybe today you feel behind. Maybe you think you started too late. Maybe you compare yourself with someone else. Please remember something. You are only seeing their finished picture. You did not see their first drawing. You did not see their mistakes. You did not see the pages they threw away. Everyone begins somewhere. Everyone feels unsure. Everyone makes mistakes. The question is not, will I make mistakes? The real question is, what will I do after I make one? You do not need perfect English to begin learning English. You do not need perfect confidence to begin speaking. You do not need a perfect plan to take one small step. Sometimes one imperfect step is worth more than 100 perfect plans. Before this story ends, I want you to remember one simple thought. A crayon does not lose its color because it breaks. And maybe people do not lose their value because they are imperfect. Perhaps you remember the child from a moment ago. The child kept drawing, day after day, picture after picture. One afternoon, the child opened the crayon box again. Something had changed. The crayons were no longer new. Some were much shorter. Some had small cracks. One blue crayon was broken into 2 pieces. The child picked it up. For a moment, the child looked a little sad. It is broken. Then something simple happened. The child held both pieces together. The blue crayon still worked. It still made beautiful blue lines. Nothing had changed about the color. Only the shape was different. Sometimes we think people are like machines. If something breaks, it no longer works. But people are different. A difficult day does not take away your kindness. One mistake does not take away your ability. One failure does not take away your future. Think about your own life. Maybe someone said something that hurt you. Maybe you failed an exam. Maybe you made a mistake at work. Maybe your English did not sound the way you wanted. Those moments can stay in your mind for a long time, sometimes much longer than they should. You begin to tell yourself a story. I am not good enough. I always make mistakes. I cannot do this. The strange thing is this: our minds remember mistakes very well, but they often forget progress. You remember the one word you could not say. You forget the 20 words you already know. You remember the one conversation that felt awkward. You forget all the times you understood more than before. Progress is usually quiet. Mistakes are usually loud. That is why mistakes often feel bigger than they really are. Imagine reading a book. If one page has a small mark, do you throw the whole book away? Of course not. You simply turn the page. Life asks us to do the same. Turn the page, not because the mistake did not matter, but because the story is not finished. The child kept drawing. The broken blue crayon became shorter every week. Soon it was one of the smallest crayons in the box. But something interesting happened. It was also one of the most loved. The child reached for it again and again. Not because it was perfect, because it was useful, because it helped create beautiful pictures. There is a quiet lesson in that. Value does not come from looking perfect. Value comes from being used with care. Think about your favorite coffee mug. Maybe it has a small scratch. Maybe the handle is a little worn. Still, you choose it. Not because it is perfect, because it has been with you. Because it feels familiar. People are often the same. We trust people who have lived, people who have learned, people who have made mistakes, people who understand. Perfection can look impressive. Experience feels warm. That is why kindness is often found in people who have struggled. They know what difficult days feel like. They know what starting over feels like. They know what failure feels like. So they become gentle with others. Maybe that is another kind of strength. Not the strength of never falling, but the strength of standing up again. When you learn English, remember this. Every mistake is a sign that you are trying. Every sentence you speak is better than the sentence you never say. Every page you read is better than the page you never open. Every small step matters. The blue crayon became shorter. It became broken. One day, it was only a tiny piece, yet it still left color on the paper. Perhaps that is what matters most. Not how perfect we look, but whether we keep bringing color into the world. And maybe you are doing that already, even if you cannot see it yet. Sometimes a mistake lasts only 1 minute, but the words we say to ourselves can last for years. Imagine a child drawing a picture. The child colors the sky. Then the hand slips. A blue line appears across the house. The picture is no longer perfect. The child becomes quiet. Then the child whispers, "I am bad at drawing." Did you notice something? The mistake was small, but the conclusion became very big. Many adults do the same thing. You forget one English word. Then you think, "My English is terrible." You make one mistake at work. Then you think, "I am not smart enough." One conversation feels awkward. Then you think, "I am not good with people." A single moment becomes a label. That label slowly becomes a habit. The strange thing is this: we would never speak to our friends that way. If your friend forgot one word in English, would you say, "You should stop learning"? Of course not. You would probably smile. You would say, "It is okay. You are improving. You will remember next time." We are often much kinder to other people than we are to ourselves. Why? Perhaps we forget that we are learning too. Think about the blue crayon again. It became shorter. It became broken. But nobody looked at it and said, "It is useless." The only thing that changed was its shape. The color stayed the same. People are like that. A difficult season may change your confidence. It may change your plans. It may even change your direction. But it does not take away your value. Sometimes we confuse how we feel with who we are. Those are not the same thing. You can feel afraid and still be brave. You can feel nervous and still keep speaking. You can feel tired and still keep moving. Feelings change. Your value does not. Imagine walking on a rainy day. Your clothes become wet. Your shoes become muddy. Does that mean you have become the rain? Of course not. The rain is only passing through. Many difficult thoughts are like rain. They visit, then they leave. You do not have to build your identity around them. Think about learning English. Some days are easy. Some days are frustrating. One day you understand almost everything. The next day, everything feels difficult again. That does not mean you are moving backward. Learning has seasons. Just like nature, some seasons are full of flowers. Some are quiet. Both are necessary. A farmer does not dig up the seed every morning. He does not ask, "Why isn't it growing yet?" He trusts the process. Perhaps we should treat ourselves the same way. Not with endless pressure, but with patient care. Growth is often invisible, until one day it is not. One morning you understand a sentence that once felt impossible. One afternoon you speak without thinking so much. One evening you smile because English feels a little more natural. Those moments seem sudden, but they are not. They are the result of many quiet days, many small efforts, many imperfect attempts. Remember this: you are not your worst mistake. You are not your most difficult day. You are not the voice that says, "You are not enough." You are the person who keeps picking up the crayon. Again and again. Perhaps the crayon is shorter now. Perhaps it has a crack. Perhaps it does not look as beautiful as it once did. But it still has color. And as long as it still has color, there is still another picture waiting to be drawn. Perhaps you have noticed something. The broken crayon never tried to become a new crayon. It never wished to become longer. It never wished to look perfect again. It simply kept doing what it was made to do. It kept adding color. Sometimes we forget that simple idea. We spend so much time thinking about what we have lost. We stop seeing what we still have. Maybe you lost confidence. Maybe you lost an opportunity. Maybe you lost a dream. Those things can hurt. They are real. No one is saying they are easy. But even after loss, there is still something inside you. There is still kindness. There is still hope. There is still courage. There is still the ability to begin again. Imagine an old pair of shoes. The color is fading. There are small marks everywhere. The laces have been replaced more than once. Someone who sees those shoes for the first time might think, "They look old." But the person wearing them smiles. Those shoes walked through difficult days. They walked through happy days. They walked through rain. They walked through sunshine. They carried someone forward. That is why they matter. People are often like those shoes. The marks you carry tell a story. Not a story of weakness. A story of living. Think about your favorite book. Perhaps the cover has small scratches. Some pages are folded. There are notes in the corners. The book no longer looks new, but somehow it feels even more valuable. Why? Because it has been opened many times. Because it has been loved. A perfect book sitting on a shelf tells very little. A worn book tells a story. Your life tells a story too. Every challenge adds another page. Every mistake adds another lesson. Every time you stand up again, another chapter begins. Many people believe they must hide their mistakes. They only show the finished picture. They only show success. They only show the smile. But every beautiful picture begins with rough lines. Artists know this. The first sketch is usually messy. Some lines are erased. Some are drawn again. Little by little, the picture becomes clearer. Life works the same way. You are not expected to get everything right the first time. You are simply expected to keep drawing. Think about learning English again. One person waits until every sentence is perfect. Another person speaks with simple words. Sometimes those words are wrong. Sometimes the grammar is not perfect. But every conversation teaches something new. 1 year later, the first person is still waiting. The second person is speaking with confidence. What made the difference? Not talent, not luck. Practice. The courage to keep using their colors. Imagine 2 crayons. One stays inside the box. Its paper is clean. Its tip is perfect. Years pass. Nothing changes. The other crayon becomes shorter. The paper tears a little. The tip breaks. It rolls under the table. Someone picks it up. It keeps drawing. Years later, one crayon still looks new. The other has filled hundreds of pages with color. Which one truly lived as a crayon? Perhaps people are the same. A perfect life is not always a meaningful life. A meaningful life is often full of small marks. Think about your own journey. Maybe your English is not where you want it to be. Maybe you still stop to think about simple words. Maybe you still feel nervous when you speak. That does not mean you are failing. It means you are learning. Every time you listen to another story, another color appears. Every time you read another page, another color appears. Every time you speak one more sentence, another color appears. You may not notice the picture yet, but it is growing, little by little, just as it always has. Sometimes we look at other people and think, they are so much better than I am. But you are only seeing today's picture. You did not see the thousands of lines they drew before today. You did not see the pictures they threw away. You did not hear the mistakes they made. Every person you admire once felt unsure. Every person you admire once felt afraid. The difference is not that they never struggled. The difference is that they kept picking up the crayon. Again, and again, and again. One day, someone may look at your life. They may see your calm smile, your confidence, your English, your kindness. They may think, you make it look easy. But you will know the truth. You will remember the small steps, the quiet mornings, the difficult days, the mistakes, the moments when you wanted to stop, and the moments when you decided to continue. Those moments became your colors. Perhaps that is why broken crayons are beautiful. Not because they are broken, but because they remind us that something wonderful has already happened. Someone was brave enough to use them. Tonight, before you sleep, remember one simple thought. Do not worry about looking perfect. Instead, ask yourself, did I use my colors today? If the answer is yes, then today was a very good day. Before we finish this story, I want you to imagine one last picture. The child is sitting at a small table. Sheets of paper are everywhere. Some pictures are simple. Some are colorful. Some are a little messy. The box of crayons is open. None of the crayons look new anymore. Some are very short. Some have small cracks. One red crayon has no paper around it. The blue crayon is still broken into two pieces. The green crayon is almost too small to hold. But every crayon has something in common. Every one of them has been used. Every one of them helped create something beautiful. Perhaps that is the best life a crayon can have. Not to stay perfect, but to be used with joy. Sometimes we wish our lives had no mistakes, no failures, no difficult seasons. We wish every day had gone exactly as we planned. But if that happened, would we become the people we are today? Think about someone you admire. Maybe they are kind. Maybe they are patient. Maybe they always know the right words to say. Those qualities usually do not appear overnight. They grow slowly. Often they grow through difficult days. Kindness often grows after pain. Patience often grows after waiting. Wisdom often grows after making mistakes. That does not mean we should look for suffering. It simply means that difficult moments can still become something good. Imagine an old wooden table. After many years, the surface is covered with small marks, tiny scratches, little dents, places where hot cups once rested. Someone who wants everything to look new might replace the table. But another person sees something different. They see birthdays, family dinners, late-night conversations, children doing homework, friends laughing together. The marks are not the problem. They are part of the story. People are like that too. The things that changed you are often invisible. No one can see the days you almost gave up. No one can see the mornings you chose to begin again. No one can see the quiet evenings when you studied English, even though you felt tired. But those moments are real. They are becoming part of you. Sometimes people ask, when will I finally feel confident? Confidence is a quiet thing. It usually arrives without introducing itself. One day you answer a question in English. Later you realize, I didn't think so much. One day you read a page. You understand almost everything. One day you hear a sentence. You smile because you know what it means. Those moments feel small, but they are not small at all. They are signs that your colors have been there all along. You were never empty. You were never without value. You were simply growing. Many people stop because they believe they have fallen behind. But life is not a race. There is no finish line waiting for everyone at the same time. Each person has a different road. Each person has a different pace. The important thing is not how fast you walk. The important thing is that you keep walking. The same is true for English. Do not compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Do not compare today's small step to someone else's long journey. Look only at your own path. Ask yourself one simple question. Did I move forward today? If the answer is yes, even a little, then today was meaningful. Perhaps only one new word. Perhaps only one page. Perhaps only 5 quiet minutes. That is enough. Think about all the stories we have shared together. A small promise. A glass jar. A broken crayon. At first, they seem like different stories. But perhaps they have all been saying the same thing. Small promises build trust. Small moments build a life. Small actions build confidence. None of those things happen in one day. They happen one quiet choice at a time. One promise. One marble. One color. Again. And again. Life does not ask you to become perfect. Life simply asks, will you keep showing up? The answer does not have to be loud. It does not have to be dramatic. It can be very quiet. Yes, one page today. Yes, one lesson today. Yes, one conversation today. That quiet yes can change a life. Before you leave, I hope you remember one simple picture. A small broken blue crayon. It is shorter than it used to be. It has a crack through the middle. It is no longer perfect. But when it touches the paper, beautiful blue still appears. Maybe that is true for all of us. We may carry mistakes. We may carry disappointment. We may carry difficult memories. But we still carry our color. As long as your color is still there is still another picture waiting to be drawn. Thank you for spending this time with me. I hope the next time you make a mistake, you will smile a little sooner. Pick up your crayon, use your color, and keep drawing your story. See you in the next story.